If you're young and just single and a mother,
You never know what God can do.
but you better believe you can make it through it. Stand up tall and pay your dues.
This is YSM. What's up, y'all? Welcome to Young Single Mothers. My name is Yolanda. So, welcome to part 1 of a 3-part season finale. Can you believe it? It's almost been 3 months since Young Single Mothers has started. And I just want to say thank you to all the people that have subscribed to the YouTube channel. Did I say that right? YouTube YouTube channel, that are following on Facebook, people that have sent comments, and yeah, just really being a part of what has started. So today I'm calling this part Them, and I honestly need a lot of grace as I begin. I want to be as honest, as open, and as transparent as I can possibly be. And I also want to remain respectful. So that being said, from the outset, I do want to say that I absolutely love my parents. I absolutely love these 2 human beings that brought myself and my sisters into this world, and that I thank God that they're still here today. And yeah, I don't want to ever take them for granted. But today I want to share my truth in that we only ever see life from the windows of our own eyes. How we perceive reality and the world is through experiences, through things that have happened in our lives. So it's gonna get real up in here, as real as I can possibly be, whilst remaining respectful. So yeah, that's where I want to start from. In the beginning, to be completely and utterly honest, I've always had a very, very hard relationship with my mother. I love her to pieces, but I don't know where it started, how it started, but first of all, my mom is not very emotionally attached. I'm thinking she's part of the baby boomer generation. I'm not too sure. So that generation, I don't know, my parents are my only point of reference. So there's a certain divide, if I can call it that. I feel like our generation, I'm a millennial, I feel like we are the mental health awareness generation. I think we're more attached to our feelings than their generation. So it's always, I guess, bothered me to a degree that I've never felt like I have a friend in my mom. And that's always been something that I found hard to deal with. Whether I play a role in what has transpired over life or whether it's her, I think at the end of the day, it's a two-way situation. So it's always been very hard for me to really go to her with who I am and what I'm going through in life. And when I became a parent, I became more aware of my upbringing and how I wanted to raise my child. And I had to be careful not to raise him from a place of bitterness, because my parents didn't do that. So I'm going to overcompensate so that my child doesn't feel the same things I've been feeling. And I still have to tread very carefully, because being a parent is hard. I have to realize that my parents have come from a broken place. We're all broken people, and they are no different to me, in the sense that we can only do what we know to do. If you haven't experienced certain things, how are you going to know? Unless somebody tells you, or you see it, or you read about it. And I've mentioned before that I was reading a lot. I needed to read, because this world of parenting, there's no 100% right way, and it's so easy to get things wrong. So I've always had to really dig deep within myself to understand where my mom is coming from, where my father is coming from, because there are a lot of things that have happened through life that have built resentment within me, that have caused me to feel hurts and pains in certain areas of life. And I'm still dealing with those even now as a 35-year-old woman raising a young man. So it's not easy. So in the early days of my child's life, I listened to a lot of sermons on raising children. I read books. And I think in the reading and in the listening and in the learning, it was really brought to light for me as to certain things I wish my parents had done. And I could feel the resentment welling up within me, because I don't know how much you know about the love languages. I'm very sensitive in the sense that I want to be able to open up. I want to be able to have people to talk to, people to speak positively into my life. And one of the earliest memories I've had was of always being compared to my older sister. She is practically Einstein's twin. Let's just put it that way. And I'm not. I'm very far from it. And I think a lot of parents do want their children to be academically on a certain level. I was more sporty, more entertainment, and that's the type of person that I am. So I think for them to grasp that aspect of who I am may have been slightly difficult or hard for them to take in and know how to handle me or deal with me. So I've always felt a certain sense of rejection and being misunderstood. So coming into this life of being a parent, I've had to really work within myself to, first of all, forgive. We talk about forgiveness a lot here, don't we? Just to forgive, because I can't keep walking through life, especially as a parent, holding a lot of grudges and a whole lot of resentments towards my own parents. And that is a work in progress, and it is still a work in progress today. I'm not going to highlight all the bad, because it's not all bad. It's never all bad. We can always find one thing we can be so grateful for that each of our parents has done. I know my mom is an amazing provider. She wants the best life for me. She wants me to excel. She wants me to do well in life. And I can feel that sometimes. And then the times when I'm just like, maybe you could have worded that a little different. That's just me. That's just how I process things and how I see the world. But I'm so grateful for the part that she's always played, because she's always been there in like the hardest times. I've gone through health issues and I needed my mom to be there, and she was there. One thing I really love about my dad, my dad is almost like an angel. I know my dad has his faults, like anybody else, he has his faults, and he royally ticks me off so much. But he's one of the hardest people in the world to be mad at. One thing I really appreciate about him, or appreciated, because now I'm a little older, I remember being young and I would be at his office, not knowing that he was in a meeting. I'd sort of creak the door open, and I would see that there's a meeting going on. So I'd quickly be like, oops, sorry, but he would immediately say, no, come in. And he would stop the meeting just to address the issue that I had come there for, no matter how small it was. And that's one of those things that always, it always comes back to me. And it makes me realize that I think quality time and just showing that you are important to me, to the point that I will stop this meeting so I can hear what you need to say. So I think it's those little things that really, I look at my dad with rose-colored glasses. It's, being a parent is tough. It is tough, and I don't think I can fault my parents in any way for things that I wish they had done, or I wish they could do even today. Because, I don't know so much about their upbringing and how they were brought up by their parents. All I know is that my dad had a single mom. His dad played a bigger role as he grew up. My mom was the apple of her dad's eye, being the first girl of a lot of children. And I don't think, from what I can remember, I think she has mentioned at some point that she didn't really have a great relationship with her own mother. So it's one of those things of trying to understand where they have come from so that I can feel a sense of healing within myself, or more like understanding and remorse and compassion, so that I don't carry too much resentment, too much anger. But that being said, it's not easy. Like, it's not. It's really not. It feels like an uphill battle on a regular basis, because as much as I'm dealing with trying to understand them, I'm also dealing with the issues that I've experienced and gone through or put myself through in my life, and then now having a child and have to figure out who I am so I can raise him in a manner that is fitting to God, who saw it fit to give me the honor and the privilege of raising a human being. So, more grace. I need to show my parents grace. And this didn't go in the direction I thought it would. But the reality is that they are good people. Our parents love us. I mean, I apologize if let's say maybe your parents weren't there for you, or your parents, didn't do life towards you the way that you wish they had. I feel like we always need to understand that we are all broken people. As much as I'm broken and hurt, they're broken and hurt. How they deal with it, I'm not sure. I'm not aware of how my parents deal with the issues of life that they've had to face. I know I'm very, very into checking myself from the neck up, just to see what's going on in my head, or how am I seeing the world, how am I understanding it, how is it causing me to react or respond. So much love, much grace, much peace, because that's all I ever want to experience in my life and in my relationship with my parents. I know that it shapes a lot of who I am and who I am becoming as a parent as the years go by. So that is them. If I haven't completely freaked you out, I hope you'll join me for part 2 of the season finale. I won't say much about what I'll talk about next week, but I want to hear from you in regards to encouragement, maybe. I don't know if I don't want to push your comments in only one direction, but I would like to hear what aspects you have appreciated that your parents have done in your life, just so you can live from a place of appreciation. It's so easy to live from a place of anger and resentment, because I've been at that place for a very long time, and parts of me are still in that place, but I have to stop and recognize where I'm at in my heart and in my life, so that ultimately at the end of the day I can always work on myself to be a good person, first of all, a good daughter to my parents, and of course a good sister, a good aunt, a good cousin, a good friend, and also most importantly to me, a good mother. So that is all I have for you today. Peace.
1, 2, 3, go!
If you're young and you're single and a mother,
You never know what God can do,
you
yeah.
better believe you can make it through it. Stand up tall and pay your dues.
This is YSM.